Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
It's motorsport, but not as you know it. Test yourself and your everyday road car. Safe, affordable, but most of all, fun. And all you need is your daily driver. Experience the thrill of a sprint day. Race against the clock at a hill climb. Or test your reflexes with an auto test. It takes just 3 simple steps to get started. Get on the start line. Search Motorsport Australia Daily Driver today.
Good evening and welcome to SimSpeed TV and the final round. Round 9 of the ANZ ESeries GT3 National Championship for another Saturday night of door-banging virtual racing around a place that needs no introduction. One of the world's legendary racing circuits, Mount Panorama. It seems fitting we take the last round of this epic series here after 8 rounds of hard racing against some of the best sim racers in Australia in varying weather conditions. It will be the mountain that decides the order of the championship tonight. Though, for most, winning here is more rewarding and more motivation than any championship trophy. No one comes here to lose and everyone has their own take on the mountain. But one thing we can all agree on, there is simply no other place quite like it. Thanks for joining us on Twitch, Facebook, Kick or YouTube. Hello, I'm your host Aaron Obersteller, and speaking of not needing introduction, the 2 gentlemen I have alongside of me truly fit the bill, but I'll introduce them anyway. He works in the shadows, bringing us the incredible visuals, stats, overlays and replays. He gives us in the combat some updated info in our ears, and is a true master of his craft. In production, it's Jay Kennedy, and joining me in the commentary is the man that can do it all. He races, he runs leagues like AOG and Scops, commentates, and has a real passion for all types of motorsport, and it shows. Anyone can gibber on and commentate, but this gentleman can also call a race as well. And let me tell you, there's a definite distinction. The man that has many talents, Daniel Yaman, welcome to Bathurst.
Thank you for that introduction there, Aaron. And yes, I mean, we come here several times a year to this place, and well, such as early on in the year, Bathurst 12 Hour now making itself known both not in the real world, but also virtually here. And of course, we'll be back here later in the year as well with a host of certain 1,000-kilometre spectacles to come in our local Holdens and Fords, at least those that are relics of a bygone era, perhaps, as one might say, but nevertheless feature on the platform. But for us here tonight, bringing the GT3 machinery for our usual racing action to, as you say, conclude this series here tonight. And look here at the circuit from down top, to think that since 1938, the only thing that has changed about this circuit was the addition of the chase after 1986 for the 1987 season and onwards. I mean, of course, there have been minor alterations to track surface has been relayed a couple of times over the years, and the exact positioning of walls and fences has changed a little bit over time, but for the most intents and pieces, the actual racing between the white lines has been unchanged pretty much, apart from the chase, ever since this circuit came to be in 1938.
Yeah, this track, it means everything to everyone. We don't need to go on too much about it. What I can tell you about tonight is look out for these cars going through McPhillamy Park. That's going to be pretty fun. They're going to be on the absolute edge. Forest Elbow is going to be probably a passing opportunity for these GT3 cars. And also, if you get a good run out of that, it's going to bring you down as that classic chase as well. And yeah, Dan, is going to be a big one tonight.
It should be, yeah. We'll have to see how things roll out, of course. We'll sort of keep our fingers crossed and hope that we see some good racing up and down the mountain. But speaking of the racing tonight, here's how we stand after 8 rounds with a drop for the drivers in this championship. And indeed, with 305 points on offer tonight, Cody Deeth, despite having a bit of a mixed night at Phillip Island last Saturday, has done enough to confirm this ANZ ESeries GT3 National Championship is his. 383 points ahead of his teammate in Dylan Burse means that will be enough, even with having switched cars to the Ferrari tonight, which I believe incurs a points penalty for doing so. That gap is still big enough because it's a 50-point penalty, if I've also heard correctly earlier on this season. So that will mean it's his, regardless of what happens here tonight, unless he does something so egregious that he gets effectively binned out of the season. Pretty much, that's probably
let's
the only
not put the mockers on him.
Indeed, yeah. But let's talk about the rest of the field here. Dylan Burse is looking reasonably safe at 312 points clear of Jamie Christensen. Or sorry, 212, I should get that number right. So that indeed would require an absolute bomb out from Burse to lose second place in the standings. But certainly with only 16 points there between Jamie Christensen, who currently holds down third, and Zach Rattray-White, who's looking to get himself up onto the podium perhaps. That will be one to watch out for. Simon Nicholson is here tonight. He'll look to obviously consolidate 5th place. It won't be Damon Woods that challenges him again, as unfortunately a reminder that Damon Woods, after we spoke to him at Sandown 2 rounds ago, that was the end of his chance to be part of the season. But it was Marino Rella there in P7 that might be able to challenge Nicholson here tonight. Qualifying is underway, Aaron, and for tonight it's a single group of drivers. They're going to get the entire time in the session, which is a hair over 20 minutes to accommodate the cut that will happen at the end of the top pick 0. 15-minute 45-minute race, as we usually see here to conclude our championship of racing.
Yeah, I'm just seeing these guys go around now. I've just been focusing on what's going on. You did say something about the championship there. Zach Rattray-White versus teammate Jamie Christensen. That's going to be interesting tonight to see how they play that out. Zach Rattray has pace here at Bathurst and will take probably any opportunity he can to bring this championship to P3, which would be a major accomplishment for him. Yeah, the qualifying tonight, we're just seeing Cody Deeth go across the, with a 2:02.9 as well. So he set the early pace for everyone out there at the moment. Just a spotlight here in another Eclipse race with Cameron McLeod out on track here tonight. Hopefully we get to have a chat with him in the com box. Super 2 driver involved in that massive crash we had there at Perth a couple of weekends ago. So we'll hopefully we get to have a chat and see how that's all going for him. See him back in the car shortly. But yeah, we'll see who's going across the line shortly. No one's showing very good pace at the moment. It's good that they got 20 minutes actually, Dan, because that only gives you technically only about 10 laps around here to put in a flyer, and the tyres will go off. So we'll see what the strategy is going to be all about. We'll see if teammates will use their teammates to see if they get a bit of a tow down Conrod or up Mountain Straight. But other than that, you don't really want to be in the tow of anyone as you go up the mountain. So as we on board here with Dylan Burse. Now, his championship is pretty much solid in P2, but anything could happen around Bathurst. We know that it's not about how good you are as a driver. The mountain can sometimes catch you out and can destroy one of your races. If he has an absolute shocker here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, he could find himself in P3, but hopefully that doesn't happen. He's had a major, an awesome championship as a rear gunner for Cody Deeth, and deserves that P2 position, and he comes through the line. He didn't actually cross the line, I don't think. Possible?
He did. Yeah, he just did. He did a time, pretty much matched his time to the 1,000th of a second. I'm seeing in iRacing that his second lap in session was a 2:03.469. His third lap there was a 2:03.468. So I think either way you split the hairs on that one, that's practically unchanged. Adam Hughes will dive to the pit lane and wanting to continue on with that one there. Noting at the moment, yeah, drivers currently in this session, there are quite a ways off the times that I caught there at the end of practice, or maybe it was a case of those times set early in practice. We are still in the early virtual morning, not even 9 AM in sim on November day, which does mean that here are reasonable. 20 degrees air temp, 26 degrees track. But it will mean things should warm up a little bit as the race goes on. As let's see here for Christensen. So this is now an opportunity to watch one of the Ferraris here at work. And, well, they've dominated the top 10 in practices. Whether it be Eddie Beswick on Conrad, yep, peeling over to let the number 5 machine through here. So look and see if we can get an improvement on a 203.868 for Christensen. Your reference to note here is that he did a 203.3 in the practice session before we went live here tonight as he rounds Murray's corner. Looking all right to improve, although it's only going to be a couple of tenths to 203.564. But it will be enough to jump up from 8th to 5th there in the number 5.
Eddie Beswick gave him a bit of a helping hand down Conrad straight there. So this is on board with Dylan Burst actually. Oh, okay. That is the long way around. Who was that he went past? Do we have any information of? It was one of the Vermilion boys.
I'm going to say Seth Brown based on where they currently are on track.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. It could incur. Well, I don't know if that'd incur anything. Seth Brown sort of held his line there, but yeah, we'll see this. Oh, he's going slow. He's held.
I'm also going to just chalk this up, Aaron.
Yeah, I don't think there's much in it, to be honest.
Deciding to have a bit of a play around there, because yeah, Seth's definitely not on a lap. I guess Dylan was on an out lap at that point. Yes, he was on an out lap as well. He's decided rather than go to the right side of the circuit and stay on the asphalt to play around a bit and see if something different can have of it there. Sonny was looking to start lap. Brad Newman just going up to 11th on the tower there in one of our few Porsches here tonight. Yeah, we're curious to see how this order shakes out towards the end of qualifying. Top 3 all Ferraris. P4 has burst in the lone, pardon me, one of 3 Audis tonight. Then you've got leading Porsche Nicholson and P7 with Beswick and Morella running out the top 10 being non-Ferrari drivers. Nathan Gardner joined Blackout OPR partway through the season. 206.0 on the board. If that counted, yes it did. It puts him to 17th, which is unfortunately right towards the back at this stage, with 18 drivers having got times on the board, 19 in the servo so far. But still got ourselves about 11 minutes, or exactly 11 minutes I should say, left in this session to determine if there'll be any improvements here as Onbell with doors to go, and he abandons once again.
Jacob O'Reilly's coming across the line now. I think he's going to improve. He did a 203.1. That's going to put him up into P2, about 2 tenths off the lead of Cody Deese time. Displaces Zach Rattray White into P3. So we've got a couple of Vermilion boys up the front there. We've got Dylan Burst rounding out that sandwich, that Eclipse Simsport sandwich. Zach Rattray comes through the chase, flat out on the brakes at the 100-meter board. Just seen, checking at his sector times, they're good. They seem to all be doing the same sort of times. These guys know this track inside and out. They have done millions of laps around here, I would say, over their careers in sim racing. As Zach comes across the line, it's going to be a little bit better. It's going to displace Jacob right there just by absolutely nothing. Did a 203.0, a tenth behind Cody Deeth. So the pace is starting to come. He didn't have much of a toe there. He's going to go back to the pits as well. Shane Chancellor has pace. Look out for this guy tonight. I was watching him in practice. He has something about him around this track. He's going to lift around here. Same with a lot of people out racing tonight. They seem to all want to lift and all want to win around this track. They don't care about championship. I can tell you, if they're not in that top 3, they're here to win. Adam Hughes coming down Conrad. Well, not an outlap. This is on a lap right now. Checking out his sector times as well. He is on for a low 204, but we'll see how he goes. He might get a little bit of a toe from Jacob O'Reilly in front of him, possibly. Gets the thing stopped nicely, or just on the absolute limit. As they come down here into the last turn. Oh yeah, it's giving him the flashing lights. I'm on a lap. I don't think the stopwatch is actually going to do too much to his time. Adam Hughes comes across the line. He's in P13 at the moment. He's going to not improve on his on his time. But Eddie Beswick behind him actually went up to P9 with that effort. So Adam Hughes might have given him a little bit of a helping hand down Conrod.
He did, yeah. Porsches and the Audis, I would expect they're going to struggle a little bit here in clean air for qualifying at least. As the number 5 of Christensen has just pulled over, and I believe has just improved to a 203.1. Indeed, that puts him up into 4th place now, so making time there. Now 4 Ferraris in the top 4 as we're focusing on Stuart Ellis here, and about a couple of Porsches in the field for a total of, well, 5 of them in this GT3 class. We'll ignore the Porsche Mission Rs that are present. They might indeed bear the same manufacturer brand, but they're there for a safety car or 2 if required. So there we go, actually put the manufacturers in class. Currently up on screen, Reno Morella in behind as well, who I'm sure will be looking to make an improvement as well, as they're both outside the top 10, these two. The chase would come for Ellis. I think he's either on a warm-up or had a rough lap somewhere in this, because that's definitely not going to be a fast one. Morella behind, also looking a little ways off at this stage. So, see here, I think for both of them actually they are winding up to get started on another flyer here. So, it's a good chance to see what they can do here with just over 7 minutes left in the session. Prepare for another one as Dylan Burst and Eddie Beswick together on the circuit. Let's see what the 2 Audis can do as they head down into the chase.
This is great from Dylan. He's got his teammate there. I'd imagine that he'll get out of the way for him. No, they're going to go through. Oh no, yeah, he has. He's got out of the way. He's given him the toe. This is a really good lap for Dylan Burst. If he keeps it going, he could crack the 202s, but we'll see how he goes. He needs to stop this on the marks here on the 100-meter board. Geez, they go wide into the grass, the virtual grass as you call it, as he comes across the line. No improvement on his P5 position at the moment, but still a pretty quick lap, and he had a toe as well, so I don't know what more it's going to take for him to get a nice lap around here. He's going to come out in absolute traffic as well. They've got all the Eclipse boys out there at the moment. Cameron McLeod's out there in the Eclipse colours as well. Dylan Burst, Cody Deeth, I think Eddie Beswick's out there as well, so a lot of Eclipse representation here tonight. And those Ferraris really make up the grid here. I can see why Cody Deeth's gone to that Ferrari. It just seems to be quick. I jumped on board with them earlier. It did look like it had a little bit of understeer, but obviously that doesn't really matter because the ultimate speed of that car is just unbelievable. Maybe that's all we can get out of the Dylan Burst's car tonight.
It's a strong possibility, yeah. The benefits of the down of the toe are being offset by them losing a bit of potential across the top. The Audi makes its speed from basically Griffin's Bend to the elbow. That is where you look to make your time up, make your time in the Audi. Having had a bit of experience in it myself once upon a time, that was back in the older cars, more so than the currently configured, and on a vastly different bit of setups, of course, as well. Drivers here in the series using Hymo setups, so at least fixed setups provided by Hymo setups, I should say. Let's look at this here for a bit of a traffic jam through the exit of the chase with that's Nathan Gardner ahead of Lewis Greathead. They're going to have to be careful here as they get into the Murray's corner. Greathead going to press on right to the gearbox of that Audi. Does that hurt him? It looks like it might not have. He'll get across the line and improve by about 3/10, and yes, he will jump to P6 there in the number 12. So that just worked out, but there's the understeer on the exit of turn 1. That I think was going straight for the dirt, and that would be the end of that one there. Chu Kang, meanwhile, looks like he's on a lap here. Aaron, into the final turn. Let's see what the 37 can do.
Chewy Kang, we've seen him on the stream plenty of times. We'll see if he's going to come across the line now. I'd imagine that he's not going to be an improvement. He's in the right car for it. Oh, here we go. We're on board here.
Is Lewis Greathead, is it? Right, yes.
Oh, bloody
I believe
hell.
so.
Yeah, that was an understeer moment that I was talking about. During the night, we'll jump on board with these things as they go across the mountain. I can tell you, they're an absolute handful and absolute full lock when they're going through some of these turns. Yeah, we'll get to jump on board with that a bit later. But yeah, that's the only downside I can see this Ferrari. But the absolute straight line horsepower of it is more than making up for it. As we see Seth Brown come down into the chase. They just know exactly where to put the car on the marks. They take all the bit of racetrack through there. Coming down to the last corner. He looks like he's going to improve. No, it's not. Sorry, I had my timing all incorrect. So he might be just on a.
It is.
Oh no, that was an improvement.
Finds
That's put him up into 6th.
Yep, grabs himself about half a tenth of a second there to Seth Brown to go from a 203.627 to a 203.589 and displace Lewis Greathead in the process there as well to switch those two around. Well, coming down into the final 3 minutes of the session with a hard cut. Drivers who are on laps now. They might be able to get around for one more after this, or if they're coming across the line now, they're starting their final flying laps of the session. So start keeping an eye on where everyone is at to make sense of things as we look here at Jacob O'Reilly coming down the mountain in the 222 machine. Time looks pretty decent here. Can he be one of the drivers to get close to Cody D's provisional pole time? The only driver in the 202 bracket here in qualifying is that number 3 machine. Everyone else looking from the outside in is through the chase again, really trying to get that car to rotate and definitely struggling a bit there by the looks of things as they do. Down into Murray's is all Jacob's got left. Gets this one looking nice there from the outside, although it's definitely a little wide. It'll hurt the run off the corner, and it won't be an improvement. And he had time, but he chooses that's the end of his session. 222 will start no better than 30 tonight.
Cameron McLeod just came across the line there. That was an improvement, and it's put him up into P11. He was in P16, so it's a great improvement from him. He's got time to go back. As of now, if you're starting a lap, this is it. So Jamie Christian's going to come through. This will be his last lap of this session. He's on. Yeah, he's missed a couple of marks around the mountain. I don't think this is going to improve. He's done a 203.1. As he comes across the line now, he'd have to be absolutely on the marks to beat that. Now he's missed it by 2/10. Simon Cox comes across the line now. That looks like an improvement, which it is. A 204 dead basically puts him up into P12, just behind Cameron McLeod there as well. In between, that's Vlaz Blom coming across with no time for that one. So there's only a few people on track that can actually finish a lap. We've got 1 minute left. Adam Hughes is one of those. He should have just enough time to get across the line. At the moment, we might stay on board for him as they go through the chase in this Porsche, which is not a very good showing for the Porsches tonight. Adam Hughes has found himself in P16 at the moment. He's done a 204.3. I've got him on a 204.3, so we'll see what he can do, what he can come across the line with. As we were talking just then, Brad Newman's gone up into P12. Just see if he can improve. Adam Hughes comes through. He's got one more turn to get right, to get across the line. He's very, very close to his original times. 204.3, can he beat it? He comes across, we've got 30 seconds left on the clock. And it's not gonna.
Yep,
oh,
he
it
does.
is an improvement. A 204.1, which puts him up a few positions into P14. So well done, Adam Hughes. He found 2/10 in that last corner somehow. So he's finding pace as we go along. Zach Retro White coming across the line for a 202.9, which puts him back up into. Oh, that's impressive actually. We only saw 2 guys in the 202s, which is Cody Deeth and Zach Ratchway. Dylan Burst is going to come across the line. And this will probably be the last car that comes across the line. He's bottled it. He's bottled as he come across. It was a 203.2. It was an improvement, but it's not going to move him. It counts.
It does count, but as you said, it doesn't actually improve his position. He holds on to P5, and that will be the end of it there. And it means it's time to talk about a sprint to the grid. So as they line up, it will be Cody Deeth on pole once again, making a chance to sweep the final round of the season. He'll share that front row with Zach Ratio White, indeed the only 2 cars under the 203.0 bracket there tonight. And just ahead of the field with Jacko Rai, Joe Christensen going to start. Seconds actually, we'll get the times up there on screen as well. In them, on row number 2 is going to be Jacob O'Reilly, Jerry Christensen there for Vermilion Esports. And then that rocks out the top 4 with Ferraris. Our first non-Ferrari going to be in the hands of Dylan Burst. He improves his time, but not his place. You have to set up a P5 and share row 3 with the 05 of Seth Brown there alongside him. Back in a Ferrari for Seth after hopping to the Audi last time out. Lewis Greathead going to have to set off a 7th place on the grid and share that 4th row with Simon Nicholson, first of our Porsches there in the Team PGZ 08. The top 10 go rounded out by the 2nd of the Eclipse Audis in Eddie Beswick, and the last of the Eclipse Audis here tonight, I should add, and Zach Glassbottom going to round out the top 10 alongside him in that number 57.
as we go back down the grid, we've got Cameron McLeod there in the Eclipse Esports team in P11, alongside Brad Newman. I don't know if he's raced against him before, but we'll see how that goes this evening. As we go back down through the grid, Simon Cox put on his best time when it mattered, got into P13. Adam Hughes beside him, and in the Blackout OPR. I know there's a few followers out there watching this as well, so he's in P14. As we go back, Marino Marilla in P15 beside the Chewy Kang, the Kang man. See what he can do tonight. If he can stay out of a bit of trouble. He seems to find trouble every time he goes out on track. As we move down into P17, we have Shane Chancellor. Look out for him tonight, guys. He's an underdog for me in the ANZ Autosport team, near number 87, and beside him is Stuart Ellis in the Dynamic Sim Sports car. And then we got, rounding out the grid, Nathan Gardner, that makes 19 cars on the grid tonight. So action aplenty, Dan.
That there might just be indeed, even with only 19 cars to queue up on this one here. So just got to wait for the clock to run out here before we get away. It's about a minute before the iRacing pace car will pull away here from the front of the field. And yeah, Ferraris are dominant here tonight in qualifying trim, it seems. It's hard to see who can make a difference. To be honest, that is going to be the big thing, is that the Audis definitely, even the Porsches too, qualifying was probably their best chance in the race here with a pack of cars. Can probably hold position, but whether they are able to make moves forward is going to be quite possibly a right challenge. In there's actually some comments in the in-sim chat from some of the drivers here talking about, can the Porsches get some power buffs? Was, yeah, as I understand it, yeah, there's no power buffs applied to any of the cars. It's simply part of the inherent characteristics of these cars, as well as some of the fixed setup tuning that has gone into these things. And it's a track that obviously, yeah, with two long straights, even despite the run from Griffin's Bend turn 2 all the way across the top of the mountain to the Forest Elbow before they come on down the hill, they are going to be very much reliant on that power the cars can punch up. As we will get rolling now, as a couple of drivers got a little close.
I don't want to be Cody Death right now. Cody Death has an absolute vermilion sandwich going on around him. He has three very pacey. We've got Zach Rattray-White, Jacob O'Reilly, and Jamie Christensen there that are going to pounce on him. So he'll have to time this start perfectly. He might. Normally, people at the apex will go if you're in P1. He might wait actually to bunch these guys up. We'll see what happens.
Well, iRacing pace car will pull into that lengthy pit entry, which we'll see used, of course, in the second race tonight. Now in the hands, that number 3 of Cody Death as we come round Murray's before we take the flag to the final race of the ANZ ESeries National Championship. And it's going to be waiting on the green as we get underway. And look at that there. Burst trying to force up the inside of one of our Vermilion machines there. That was on the second row. It's going to be 3 wide at the apex. It's a P4, or P3 even as it is. And it will be bursting muscles his way through in the process. And then Eddie Bedwick fighting their Seth Brown side by side, and they've got the number 5 machine, Jamie Christensen, to worry about as the field now streaks up the hill. But it's going to be Death and Rattray-White nose to tail up at the front of the train. Nicholson's already called in the action at turn 1. It seems will the race start because Cody hung them out to wait. As there we go, first car wide at turn 2 is Jacob O'Reilly, although he doesn't find the fence. He'll carry on there. The 222 machine as up to the cutting we come.
This is fantastic. We've got 2 wide still as they come up here. They need to get into single file here. If you're on the outside there, you're going to hit the wall. No, oh, he has. That's a big collision. That's Brad Newman involved. There's one of the Eclipse teams as well. You'll have to go back and watch out what's going on there. Single file, boys and girls, as you go up the mountain for the first time. We've seen it time and time again. That start from Dylan Burst up the inside, 3 or 4 wide into turn 1 was unbelievable. These guys are still going. I'm surprised. I thought that was going to be a monumental crash at the back there. They come to single file as they go through Skyline, through the S's, down through the Dipper, down towards Forest Elbow for the first time tonight. 15-minute race. These guys have got all to play for. That Dylan Burst move at the front, we'll get that a replay for everyone there, but it just seems to calm down now. Just all it takes is one accident, and people seem to just calm down a little bit. Good run in the background there from one of the Eclipse boys on the team. But yeah, horrible start for Jacob O'Reilly. He went back. I think he started with P2 or 3. He's back at P5 now behind Jamie Christensen as they come down into the chase. Teammates, Ferraris, battling it. as they come through down into Murray's corner. Oh, this is unbelievable racing. Oh, Brad Newman gives him a shunt as well. Nathan Gardner's going to push him, going to give him a little bit of a bump. The outside's not all too generous. Oh, this is good racing. Oh, gee, and a bit of contact there as well. So, Dan, that opening lap had it all. Hopefully get a replay, which we're going to get onto now.
And yeah, how's that there from Dylan Burst? I think, of course, you're going to be coordinated with Cody there for the race start, and it seems that Cody choosing to wait till the iRacing green went up. Dylan just predicting it the tiniest amount there, it seems, and as a result, was able to force his way up the inside before the door could be shut properly. He's actually now dueling for third place. That's how bad of a rough. He's actually trying to hang on to the P3. So that's what we're seeing on replay. We might want to go live as soon as we can because we've got, this is what caused the case. Brad Newman, a massive bomb on Eddie Beswick there, the second of the Eclipse Audis. And then they just they grind each other halfway out of the corner, refusing to give up. We need to go live. There's been a crash down into the grate.
That's Jacob O'Reilly.
Several cars are gone. That's what's just happened there on lap 2, as I was talking about on replay. But now we've got more calamity. Stay with Seth Branachie on the replay if we can, please. The 05 machine. As up the hill they'll come. No. Cameron McLeod going to get involved here and tap into O'Reilly. And then 2 cars dead. And I think the rest of the field actually is going to get through by some miracle, it seems.
That is... We'll have to get on board there with that Eclipse car. I'm not sure who it was. Was it Cam McLeod?
That was Cam McLeod, yeah, the second of the Ferrari. Yeah, second. They've got 2 Ferraris, 2 Audis here tonight. And with Cody Deeth actually now pulled a gap on Zach Ratcho right up front. And the safety car has been deployed, and that will get the race neutralised. Here it is on board once again with Cam McLeod.
He's got a great run, but you just cannot go through. That's a moment. That's an absolute moment. And how that car is still running is beyond me. That Ferrari should be destroyed into the wall right now, but he's still got, they're still going fine. So safety car out at the moment. That's going to bring this battle pack back to where it should be. We've gone through 5 minutes and it's been absolute chaos. We've had Jacob O'Reilly, Seth Brown in the thick of it just there. Two teammates getting taken out by one of the Eclipse. Let's not say it's been taken out. We'll let the man in the box decide that. But Jamie Christensen somehow stayed out of it all, and that fight between Jamie Christensen and Dylan Burst is going to fire up after this.
Well, yeah, we're going to go back to another replay apparently with Eddie Beswick in the number 30 machine. So this is just in behind. So we've got Nicholson. Oh, it was lap 1 replay. So up the inside there, we used to get the Falcon tyres paint job of Brad Newman, and it really just Beswick's got Nicholson on his outside, and he's still got nowhere to go as Newman shot through. And then he kind of drove through Newman like he hadn't flown up the inside.
All we can do is laugh about that. That is, I could feel the frustration from Beswick there. Getting dived up through there on lap 1 when it's 3 wide is ridiculous. We've seen Brad Newman get penalties in the past. Might be another one coming his way, possibly.
Again, lap 1 on the outside of Beswick, and then it's going to be all the way out in the wall as there's Brad Newman. Thankfully for Nicholson, he's able to mostly escape that by getting back to the left-hand side of the circuit and carry on. Closest though, about 80 under safety car, which is where he was.
That's odd.
A blender for Jamie Christensen and Dylan Burst. It seems they're all here behind the Burb Creation safety car. So this is going to be, again, lap 2, this time on board with Jacob O'Reilly being told. Yep, there goes Seth Brown, the 05 up the inside. So yeah, the 2 of them side by side compromise the run here under the Fujitsu sign. McLeod looking for the insides to come up towards Reed Park, but yeah, there is just no space, as you said there. We saw it better from McLeod's angle, I have to say, but there's just no space to even threaten a 3 wide. Even if it is a 15-minute sprint, you're going to need to make up every spot you can. Definitely was a gamble that wasn't ever going to pay off. As back to live will go, Aaron. Safety car will be coming in at the end of this lap, and we'll get back to racing with about 7 odd minutes on the clock with one final replay of the shunt that's brought out the safety car here with Lewis Greyhead.
Yeah, that was. It's You could watch it. You have to watch it over and over again to see what actually happened there. But Seth Brown got an absolute massively compromised run through there. I know we're all racers, and yeah, it's hard to take your foot off that right pedal sometimes, but that's what it required. And we'll see what happens from there. But why he let Jacob O'Reilly go up the inside of him up through the mountain at that point is beyond me. So perplexed is what I am at the moment. And we'll have to see how that dissects later on in the race. What I can tell you though is Cameron McLeod now is in P5 after that. He'll be chuffed with that. He's behind Jamie Christensen. So up the front here we got 3 Eclipse drivers. We got Cody Deeth, Dylan Burse, and Cameron McLeod. And in between those guys in P2 we got Zach Rattray White in the Vermilion Motorsports Ferrari, and Jamie Christensen in the other Vermilion Ferrari as well. So it's becoming this battle, which we've seen all through this series of the Vermilion versus Eclipse, and we've only got 7 minutes left here, so we're only going to see probably 3 or 4 laps. But yeah, it's gonna be exciting racing, especially Dylan Burse. He seems to have a little bit of pace and something maybe to prove around here. He didn't qualify all that well, but he's up into P3 now with Zach Rattray in front of him.
Well, I can tell you that the whole thing happened behind Dylan Burse because he got absolutely mauled up mountain straight by the Ferraris. So watch out for it here on the restart. Cody Deeth will take him down to Murray's corner. He's got control. He's had control since practically they exited the chase. As we get ready to see when that number 3 will put the hammer down, he waits on the apex and goes now as we approach the start finish line. And Dylan Burse once again with a bit of coordination. Can he get to the inside? He's got to the inside of Zach Rattray White. The apex will be his as he dives at the inside on the brakes. McLeod up the inside of Christensen in the other Vermilion car. But there we go. Zach Rattray White around the outside is going to hang on and watch that Ferrari pull away up the mountain straight here on this restart lap, even with a bit of slipstream from Cody Deeth. Dylan Burse has no response, and the 68 pulls back in line as they head up towards Griffin's Bend.
Yeah, that's an unbelievable power from the Ferrari. He had the inside line of the turn 1. They come through Griffins now, and he's back into P3. So I don't know what he's going to have to do to get to P2 here. It's going to be a bit of a miracle, or he's going to just put the nose up the inside there a little bit. I don't think anyone will be doing that for the remainder of this race. But you should see the power of that Audi going up here now. So we'll stay here with this battle. Zach Rattray White's in the Ferrari. We have seen a little bit of understeer at the front, but Dylan Burse should have the ultimate speed as they come over Skyline into the S's here. So nice through here.
Down the mountain on this restart lap. And top 5, well, they're not as they were because Cam McLeod is ahead of Jamie Christensen for the time being, as Lisbon's being absolutely hustled. Versus caught up to Rattray White across the top, but now once again down Conroy straight to go, and unfortunately Dylan Burse, he can be up the gearbox as much as you like. I don't think it's going to make a difference. He's got trouble with chicane. Brad Newman possibly there as well. Nathan Garner and I think it was Jacob O'Reilly getting stuck in behind it, side by side between Christensen and McLeod. As Rosenthal calls coming in as well at the same time here, Aaron, and it will be Christensen on the inside that will take the lead at the chase.
Great pass.
And that there as a result, Dylan Burse has lost about a car length on Rattray White. He's going to have to find something. McLeod back to the inside of Murray's going to force the issue with Christensen, and it's going to give Adam Hughes a chance in the 95 crisscross car. Although he looks to the middle of these two, that's going to be dicey. And then some, no, crosses to the inside up of McLeod. Conte's going to park everyone in the first corner, and around goes Lewis Greathead from the middle of the pack. Unfortunately, number 12 is the car that gets stuck, and all of that one there as a result.
Adam Hughes is having a massive run up here. He got up the inside of Cameron McLeod. The move wasn't on. As we saw, he's caused some contact, caused some unavoidable contact with the guys through turn 1. Yeah, this is this big jump mess that happened. Oh, what a lunge from... Oh, that's...
Newman, yes,
yeah,
it's
that's...
a lunge. It's a bit
that
much,
Porsche
though.
seems to getting bigger every time we see it on track. Must have to make some memes for that, to be honest. But Brad Newman's rear end with that Porsche seems to grow another foot every time we go out on track.
Yeah, well, that's 2 ambitious dives by the number 2, and I have to say it's not adding up positively at this stage. We'll have to wait and see if Racing Talk can actually look at those and get a decision done overhaul. The checkered flag flies, because next time around this straight it'll be awfully close. No, they'll get 2 more laps here, I think, with where they are on the circuit, and the lap time is doing less. With the safety car intervention, that throws everyone for a wrench. As the fight is on for 3rd. Top 3, they've checked out, thanks Lord, of this bombing and counter-bombing that has happened here. So Cameron McLeod with Jamie Christensen for company. Tries to break the draft here down Conrod, and then he's going to park it middle of the road and not quite leave the gap for Christensen. He's going to force his way through anyways as we come up to the chase. Later on the brakes is the number 20 machine. Around the outside, he tries to hold. He does hold for now. And can he get clear? He can. That should cover the inside now as they come up towards the final turn. It brings Hughes. It brings, I think it's, who we got there? Zach Glassbaum in the 57 into the equation now as they come across the line. We will have 2 more laps in this race. The white flag stays down at this time. And those 2 there fighting over 4th. Going to give us absolutely everything as McLeod tries to park it down here on the Exeter Hell corner and prevent the run from Christensen. It does work for now, it seems, as the rest of the train coming through, as we've had also confirmation of a review of the race start. The race start was reviewed, and apparently all clear for several cars, including Andy Beswick in the number 30 and Cam McLeod in the number 20. As there we go, still on board with McLeod here. Aaron crisscross is going to allow Christensen nose ahead, but he's still not clear into the cutting.
This is too wide into the cutting. This can only end badly, and it has to Jamie Christensen. He's hit the wall on the outside. He's going to get an awful run as he goes up the hill. He's probably going to get done by Simon Nicholson as well. Simon Cox will probably jump into this as well. Oh,
Nicholson
we see someone into the wall.
Nicholson brushes the wall, trying to go round. Christensen has got now damage on the front end of that Ferrari. Beswick will get on through there. And then you've got Simon Cox, Marino Morella, Stuart Ellis. And we've got Seth Brown trying to carve his way back through, recovering from the lap 2 incident that brought out the safety car in this one here. It's absolute pandemonium as a result of all this scrapping, all of this aggressive racing here today. As there we go, McLeod trying to get back past Hughes, dives up the inside at the elbow.
Oh no!
Skids, going to block the inside here as they come around the corner. Our drivers come in, Simon Cox tags in the middle of the road. Hughes will actually dive out of the way and avoid any more incidents with other drivers.
Cameron McLeod, if you jump on board, and he's finding his own way down the track at the moment. I don't know if you see that, but he's found reverse. It's not R for... nice J-turn if he gets it done. Yeah, not bad. Not bad.
And all of the madness.
Back to the leaders here. So this is Cody Death at the front. He stayed out of it. Like, well done to Cody Death. He's come through the line here. White flag. He's got 1 more lap to go. Zach Rattray White in P2. That's going to put him after this race up into P2 in the P3 in the championship. So we just saw Jamie Christensen in the wars there. I don't think that car's going to make it to the end. We're going to have a lot of cars behind him. I'd be surprised if he makes the top 10. Dylan Burse is there or thereabouts. So I reckon that the top 3 are pretty much done. But that fight for P5 right now with Simon Nicholson at the front of the train, that's where it's at. We'll have to stay with that. That's Eddie Beswick and Jamie Christensen behind there. Jamie Christensen's car is the walking or the driving wounded at the moment. It's got no front downforce at all. I don't know how that thing is staying with the back of these guys, but expect that car not to have too much front end grip as they go up the hill here. We're on board with Jamie Christensen now. Is anyone on it? I don't think so. I think he's got a big enough gap behind him just to bring this thing home for a nice chunk of points for this one, where he can start P7 in the next race. But yeah, that 15 minutes of absolute chaos. I'm surprised we only saw 1 safety car, because I'd imagine that they might all be getting a bit of a chat to as we go into this feature race coming up very shortly.
Might just indeed. Well, down the dip of the company with Mac, it looks like Christensen's going to try and will get this car home, damaged as it may be. It's not enough of damage to end his race, and that'll be the case as Simon Cox and Brad Newman, a bit of an over-under there at the elbow, but expect between these two that Newman might be able to win out in a straight line. We'll see here as they make their way down the hill if that plays out. He's pulling alongside now, which does seem to be the case. Stuart Ellis here might have a chance at least on one of these 2 under brakes at the chase as they come into the end of this one here. Meanwhile, at the front, it will be Cody Death to make it a qualifying and sprint race win. Another step on the road to another clean sweep. Zach Rattray White will come home ahead of Dylan Burst to round out the podium there in race 1. Further on back here, looks like this is basically done, although O'Reilly to the inside of, pardon me, it's in that pack, it's Chitty Gang, and he will get there at the line. P13 for the 222. Just leaving our last couple of cars, Adam Hughes and Cam McLeod, with their damage to limp on home at the back of the field. But for Cody Deeth, after a rough night out in the rain last week at Phillip Island in his Lamborghini, looks to have done himself some favours, it seems, with the switch to the Ferrari to finish off the season. And despite close in qualifying, ends up looking reasonably calm and controlled there in our opening sprint race.
Yeah, that had everything. Yeah, hopefully they calm down a little bit in a 45-minute race. I mean, a 15-minute race around Bathurst should have everything in there, but that I've never seen racing like that. Going 3 or 4 wide into turn 1, down the inside, hitting the wall, nudging everything. The big dive from Brad Newman up the mountain was unbelievable. As we go to our race results now, Dan.
We will indeed, and yeah. Mind you, of course, these are provisional and may be adjusted by post-race penalties, but Cody Deeth from Zach Rattray White from Dylan Burst in top 3, and thanks to the fact they got ahead of all the chaos, pull a massive margin for what was a 15-minute race with Zach Blasbom across the line there in 4th, ahead of Nicholson, Beswick, Jamie Christensen, Marina Morella, Shane Chancellor, and Brad Newman to round out your top 10. And, well, we'll bring up the other drivers on screen here, with most of them finishing the race, with the exception of Seth Brown actually going a lap down in the process of repairs and such. But with this short break before the feature, we'll quickly bring in 2 of the Eclipse SimSport drivers, your race winner, Cody Deeth, and also Cameron McLeod, who's joined us for this final race this evening. Well, Cody, we've seen you battle in the Lamborghini all season long, but switching to the Ferrari to finish things off, it looks like it might have been the right choice, given what we saw in practice and qualifying. But once again, despite the madness, you've walked out on top there in that opening race.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Ferrari's on top at the mountain at the moment. Lambo didn't really stand much of a chance, but yeah, happy with the performance, and Ferrari was very quick today.
Certainly was there indeed. And look, Cam, I believe this is the first time we've seen you in this season actually having a run. All the apologies if you raced earlier and didn't catch you there, but how's it? Also, it was a bit crazy there out on track. How was that for you?
Yeah, certainly pretty good racing. I was having a good battle there up inside the top 5. I got a good start. Just a bit of an average move from old mate trying to get there and over and under, but oh well. I can't wait for next race. Hopefully I can kind of get that same start again and push up back with the front boys.
Well, Cam, it's good to have you in here actually, and it's good to have you rubbing shoulders with these boys as well. I can't help but ask about the 2 weeks ago, that collision you had in the Super 2s. Is first of all, are the bruises subsiding, and how's the car going?
Nah, I'm fine. Just a little bit of bruising on the knees, but other than that, I'm fine. Car's getting repaired. Team's doing a good job on that. So, yeah, fingers crossed. She's on track for Townsville and she's ready to rumble.
So yeah, Townsville's in a month's time. I'm pretty sure it's the 5th or 7th or something like that of July. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Cameron. Cooper Murray. Have you guys shaken hands, or is there some animosity?
Yeah, we're all
there,
good.
Or, you know,
We're all good. Obviously, it's fortunate what happened, but it's just too early in your career to make enemies, I think. So I've just kind of shook in his hand and gotten on with it. Yeah,
no. Hey, level head from yourself, and you're only a young fella, and last year you didn't get the result you needed in that Super 3, but you showed you had the pace. That Ultima had the ultimate pace, to be honest.
Yeah, it was a mighty Ultima. We're still going it to this day. Sometimes we're like, we should get the Nissan out. But yeah, Nissan was mega. I'm pretty sure we can get this ZB Commodore pretty good. We just got to keep chipping away at it, and we've got to kind of restart now since the car's getting a full rebuild. So, but the team will do a good job on it.
Well, look, I'll let you go. I want to see how you go. You're in P18 to start this race. Good luck with it. Good luck with the rebuild. I know it's tough, but we look forward to seeing you in the Super 2 later this year.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Yeah, that was Cam McLeod. If anyone watching at home, he's a Super 2 driver. If you haven't seen anything, just type him into Google. I tell you, that is the biggest shunt I've seen at Perth ever. So keep that out there. Yeah, have a look at it if you guys can. as we're going. How long have we got until we go racing here? I might have held them up actually.
Yeah, we've got.
I'm-
I was going to say, yeah, we've got plenty of time here before the field rolls away for this race at this stage here, Aaron. So we can actually talk a little bit about stuff like that, as well as also see that we've had a bit of news come through from Race Control. Well, one, I was listening in a little bit whilst you were chatting to Cam there, that apparently there's to be no more warnings from the Race Control team, that we might see a slightly firmer hand issued for any untoward incidents. And as you can see, just flashed up on the top of the screen there a moment ago, it's a 5-second time penalty for Brad Newman for his incident on lap 1 at the cutting, which was the contact with Eddie Beswick. It also affected Simon Nicholson as well. So that will see his result affected in the opening race, but it doesn't change how they'll line up here on the grid for race 2. In fact, Aaron, take us through this one here from the top.
Oh yeah, I'd love to actually. We've got Cody Deeth taking out that race 1 for that little sprint to the feature. He's going to be leading us off. We saw him at the leaving that a little bit late, waiting until the green flag to go before he put the hammer down, just to keep some guys behind him, which helped his teammate. Zach Rattray-White has the pace. Look out for that battle between those two tonight. That's going to be awesome. Dylan Burth, I don't think he'll put a move on his teammate, but who knows? Zachary Vlasblom beside him in the 57 machine, and P4. As we go back down the grid into P5, we have Simon Nicholson in the team PGZ livery with Eddie Beswick beside him. Eddie Beswick had a really good race in that one, stayed out of a bit of trouble and got himself up into P6. As we move down, we've got Jamie Christensen in P7. Beside him is Marino Morella in the Visceral Esports livery as well. We go back down into P9 and 10. We've got Shane Chancellor and Brad, I'm going to call him Brad Ocon Newman. He's got a lot of penalties through this season, to be honest, so might have to change his name a little bit there in the Lobs Esports entry. We'll see how he goes. If he stays out of trouble, he should have a pretty good race. And I'll throw it. Actually, I'll just keep going. You take it easy, Dan. I can do this. Simon Cox in the BMA in P11. Pretty good showing from these guys. Stuart Ellis in the Dynamic Sim Sports rounds out the top 6 spots on the grid there. Jacob O'Reilly in P13. Shui Kang in P14. He's actually moved his way up the grid there, so those teammates will be working together. Nathan Gardner in 15th. Beside him is Lewis Greathead. He's got some redemption to be done. All these guys at the back is all redemption for these guys. Adam Hughes in P17. P18, Cameron McLeod. That car was super pacey, so look for that at the moving forward after the pit stops. And P19 was Seth Brown, involved in a massive incident going up the hill. Didn't get back out on track. Again, all those guys at the back, P15 to 19, are all very, very pacey, Dan, so going to be interesting.
It will indeed. Well, looking at things here as well, we've actually lost Nathan Gardner from the race service. That P15 grid spot will be sort of unoccupied as they pull away. We've also had an update as well that the lap 2 incident across the top of the mountain with Cam McLeod, Seth Brown and Jacob O'Reilly has been deemed the fault of the number 20 machine, and that got issued 10 seconds post-race, so effectively not.
That's severe.
McLeod was still the last car to finish that race there as well, so it doesn't really affect his race as well. We've had no further action for the lap 4 incident at Forest Elbow involving Brad Newman and Shu Kang, and then Brad Newman has also been warned for generally, quote, poor driving standards there as well. Well, with all that one done, I think that is Race Control clearing the air on the decisions from race number 1. It's time to get ready for the final feature races. I've been seeing in the YouTube chat that issue for Nathan Garner with a sim freeze rather than disconnecting, so apologies for suggesting otherwise here. But round the final turn will go just before the green flag. Cody Deeth puts the hammer down. Our final race of the ANZ ESeries GT3 National Championship is underway, and Dylan Burst to the inside. That's a big bomb from Brad Newman. The Falcon machine goes up the inside as Shane Chancellor, and then they'll try and get through, but he doesn't get past that Aries Ferrari, and it means he'll have to tuck back in line as we get up the hill as a single pack. No major contact on the run towards turn number 1, it seems. But look at this burst offensive early here as we come to Griffin's Bend at race pace for the first time now.
we're going to see what this Audi can do. He's in a really good spot at the moment. He's got Dylan Burst in that Audi. He's going to have Zach Retro White in that pace of that Ferrari as they come down this race. So we'll watch that with great interest. But Dylan Burst should be able to put a big lead as they go up through the mountain. I see Shane Chancellor. Oh man, that's a lot better than our race 1 incidents going through lap 1. They're all going to go into single file now, I'd imagine. You'd want to hope because they've come up on the way up the mountain. That is a lot better. Whatever words were said to these guys obviously had some sort of weight behind it, because a lot better start than the original race. Not much for us to call, but that's okay. We'll get into this race. As we say that, we've got a bit of a moment. I think that's Chewy Kang on the outside.
Zach Blasbom.
Oh, no, it was Blasblom actually. I apologise. He got a little bit wide, touched the wall. Hasn't ruined his race completely. He's back in P9. Live pictures now. They're going too wide down the mountain, back into a single file. Cameron McLeod's already made his way up into P13 at the moment, so he's having a really good race. Jamie Christensen, P6, got a massive run here on Eddie Beswick. Will he take the inside? Will he take the outside? Will he get him on the brakes, possibly?
He rolled out there into the chase, chose not to commit with the overspeed. As O'Reilly and McLeod are side by side, banging fenders at the apex. It puts the 222 in the grass. And now Adam Hughes going to capitalise on McLeod potentially, but it's side by side between the Ferrari and the Porsche into Murray's corner, and the inside is held by McLeod. He's tagging spins on the final turn. It's going to set everyone scattering. Wow. And puts McLeod at the back of the field as they get across the line to end lap number 1 here.
He might be just trying that little bit too hard. I think Morella as well was involved in that a little bit. He's gone backwards. Actually, he's gone back to P17. What's going on there? I'll see if I can find out what happened to... Oh, he spun at turn 1 and he's clipped... Actually, we'll get on board with that. He's done it by himself. Yeah, look at this little wheel-to-wheel contact. Just putting him a little bit wide. And he's come back on the track, not too bad. But this little contact here, at the forefront of your screen here. We don't get to see it, but it was just punted. There's no other way for it, so we might see some penalties flash up on the screen shortly. I'm not sure, but oh, and that was that spin from Morella as well. He's done that by himself. Clipped Newman as they went across there as well. So a little bit of damage for a couple of cars. Lap 1 didn't have. I thought it was going to be incident free, but I was mistaken. As Dylan Burst here in P2 has got his teammate in front of him, and this is going to... Oh, and he just taps the wall. That should be okay. With a side contact with the wall should be fine. But he's going to need his teammate to help him out here. Cody Deeth is going to have to keep his teammate in check there with Dylan Burst just behind him. As we're on board here with Simon Nicholson in P4. Behind him is Mr. Beswick. Making up time, and who's up behind him? That's Jamie Christensen's got it done before there. Wow, that's some brave racing early on in this 45-minute feature.
Yeah, that time decides not to roll out before he got past the Audi. As we've got also scrapping here between Blasbom, Shane Chancellor and Simon Cox for 8th place on the road, and I believe Blasbom has gotten through there. You've also got Seth Brown now hustling on Stuart Ellis in the background, is shot into Murray's inside Ferrari there at the last point to have it. And yeah, it really does look like it might be a case now of Cody Deeth trying to just leave that gap roughly alone and allow Dylan Burst to ride his coattails and give the Audi all the advantage he can up the hill. But in saying that, the gap's up and over a second, which might make him vulnerable to Ratcho White there, less than a second behind in 3rd as Christensen. The inside of Simon Nicholson is going to try and keep on charging forward, and he will get there. Nicholson hanging around the outside, loses the spot to the Ferrari and the spot to Eddie Beswick before they make the run into the cutting. So unfortunately that's going to be a spot where the Porsche's going to learn you can't afford to get out tough on the outside as Brown is going around the outside of Simon Cox. Just a little bit further on back. He's almost got it done, not quite yet done. Contact as they come up out of the cutting, but they get that sorted out without anyone going around, and it's still a file.
As it stands now, just for championship, this is the last race of the championship. As it stands right now, Jamie Christensen is in P4 now, behind Zach Retro White. Zach Retro White, after that race, has made himself up into P3 in the championship. So Jamie, we've seen him pushing into P4 there, has got something to prove. He's only 1.2 seconds behind Zach Retro White. He might have, I'm looking at his pace, he's got a little bit more speed than Zach at the moment. So we'll see how that goes as this race progresses. We'll see if Jamie and Zach work together. I'm not sure. But Eddie Beswick and Simon Nicholson might not like what's going on there if they catch wind of it. Oh, who's on board there? He's going to go around the outside. Oh, that is deep under brakes. Oh, and he's Adam Hughes. He's done the right thing, and someone else has done the same thing with him. Stuart Ellis has lost it as well. So we just saw, and Chewy Kang's up in the P15. But we'll get back to what happened there before at the chase. Not sure if there was a bit of contact as he turned in, but he's trying to get the move done. Got a little bit of a touch in the braking sector there as they come through. We'll just see on board with the number 95. Geez, there wasn't much of a gap. He's got way over the curve. I think he's just done it by himself, to be honest. And he's lucky not to collect anyone else. And Stuart Ellis has maybe got a bit of a hip and shoulder and found himself out there in the grass as well. It's tough. You get put down to the back of the grid. You've got to push your way all the way back up. It's 45 minutes, but it's not long around here. It's pretty much a sprint race. Speaking of the 45 minutes, these guys do have to pit. Dan, I'm not sure if anyone will change tyres around here. That's probably suicide, to be honest, if you change your tyres and go on a cold tyre on the outlap.
Well, I mean, conditions in the server right now, track warming up into 36 degrees Celsius. In saying that, I don't think, I wouldn't expect drivers to change tyres. 45-minute race, we should, and should be okay to make it through the rest of the switch them over. But it's been dicey, to say the least, obviously, so far in this one. As we've had an update from race control, Jake O'Reilly got passed by Cam McLeod at the elbow on lap 1. It was a bit of a scrub at the side to side. Deemed no further action. There's eyes on Eddie Beswick here as he comes down into the chase. Can't close up enough to make a pass on Jamie Christensen. He can stay with him at least and potentially pressure as we back at this next pack of cars. McLeod is in amongst other drivers there. Got a couple of our million cars led by Simon Cox, currently in P10. If you count Chancellor, it's P9 on back. And then we've got Seth Brown and O'Reilly in the eSports cars. There was Greathead in the Motorsports entry. And then McLeod, Chu Kang next to the million cars. Marina Morella, Stuart Ellis, and Adam Hughes in this one. And then, Stuart Ellis and Adam Hughes are actually drift in their own pack. Pardon me. So that's the battle for 10th on back there. Still roughly no to at this stage. There are 36 minutes remaining on the clock.
Yeah, long time to go. I'm just watching, while you're doing that, I was watching what's going up in the front here. Cody Deeth, and we were talking about teamwork. I think that's exactly what's going on. I'm pretty sure Cody Deeth is just racing within himself there, just to keep Dylan Burst on the coattails there, so he can just stay in the tow going up the straight, because they've got themselves a 1.5 second gap over Zach Retro right now, which is going to be very, very hard to come back from. Zach Retro is going to have to do something in the pits, maybe an undercut or something like that, or get a teammate to come with him and see what they can do to catch him. But man, I tell you, Dylan Burst gets within a second of that car and he loses 3/10 on each straight. It's crazy fast up Ferrari on this track.
Yeah, despite the fact that it's definitely dominated. They slouch across the top of the mountain where cars like the Audi once had an edge. That gap has sort of been built down a little bit over the years, and just really critical. You can see here Eddie Beswick is well within the slipstream range. He's got absolutely nothing ahead of him in terms of assistance, and just is able to power clear without any concern. So it does make things a little tricky there for your drivers here in 5th and 6th. As you can say the same for Simon Nicholson, not able to get a run. Speaking of getting a run, Seth Brown eyeing off Simon Cox for the top 10 spot as they come into the chase side by side. Inside door is open for Seth Brown, and he will take that one away from the number 64 machine there as they power back out and head to the end of this lap.
So we're going to see. Yeah, this is the racing we'd like to see. Every time I jump on comms, something actually happens. I don't know who that was. Yeah, that's the 222, is it? That's Jacob O'Reilly.
Yeah, it is.
That's not where you want to be. That's going to put him right to the back of the grid too. So he's made a little bit of. He's gone over the curb. I can tell you the last curb there at Murray's Corner is horrible. And yeah, he's just touched it. He got a bit of a helping hand from his teammate as well. I think that was Chewy Kang behind him that said, "I'll just spin you around that way." So he's got a lot of work to do to get back up to the front. Chewy Kang is having a monster little battle with Marina Morello at the moment. If you want to jump to that, as they go up the hill, they just cut in behind him as well. He just got done at turn 2. We sort of missed that a little bit, unfortunately, but I can tell you, Chewy Kang's taken it as much as he can to the number 7, Marina Morello, in front of him as they go up here. So, what's Chewy in? He's in the Ferrari. So Ferrari versus Porsche. You'd imagine that the Ferrari's got the legs down the straight, and that's where Chewy Kang's probably making the time up. In front of those guys at the moment is Cameron McLeod. He started last, had an incident, went to last, back up into P13, so he's trying to work his way back up here. He's got the pace. They're all not doing incredibly fast laps at the moment, but I'd imagine that's because you're in traffic and it's hard to make a pass of them guys. So just to keep that in perspective, we got Cody Deeth, Dylan Burse, Zach Retro White, all in the 203s. And then we got, in the back of the grid here, we got from 205s to 206s as we go through from 10th to 15th. So people finding it hard. As Simon Nicholson gets a nicer run here, we might see him go to the inside. No, he's not. He's going to stay in behind. Get the slipstream up the mountain, up Mountain Straight. But they go quick through there. So he's in P6 at the moment. That's Eddie Beswick in front of him. So just on board here with
Chewy Kang on lap 3, Aaron, and our first drive-through penalty of the session has been issued as he comes up. Oh, and this is why Stuart Ellis goes around. Yeah, no wonder the drive-through penalty has been issued there. Chewy Kang has lost sight of the braking marker. Obviously, he was coming into the chase, and unfortunately for Stuart Ellis, he got used as the braking marker to turn that car around. So I'm seeing Chewy Kang in the pits and stops.
Well.
Has he been issued a stop and hold penalty?
It definitely says drive-through penalty. So,
yeah, let's.
I apologise to Stuart Ellis too. I thought he did that by himself. Obviously not. Chewy Kang has absolutely murdered the rear end of his Porsche at the chase there. Hopefully he can. He's got enough time. We've got 30 minutes left in the race, so he's got enough time to work back up into. I think it was P13 or 12 possibly when that happened. Self-inflicted from car 95, no further action, self-inflicted penalty. Lap 3, turn 21, yeah, we saw him spin around himself on the inside there as we saw Stuart Ellis at the same time. So this little battle here, that's Eddie Beswick in front of Simon Nicholson as they come down through the chase. The clock as they go across the line is probably going to tick just over the 30-minute mark. So we'll see. They've got 30 minutes of fuel on board. So most of these guys will take it right to the 15 minutes before they fuel up and get home. But if you want to do a bit of a strategy call, you possibly could. That's a really good move by Shane Chancellor there with Seth Brown behind him. Seth Brown is trying to make up for lost time at the back of the grid here. He's in P10. But this is the battle for P9 at the moment as they come down the main straight into Hell Corner as they do this big run up Mountain Straight. He's going to stick him behind him here. Behind them is Simon Cox, so he's just waiting for these guys to pounce so he can get in on this action. He's got a pretty good run in behind him, but Ferrari versus Audi, and we've seen. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. That was no, it's Ferrari versus Ferrari. I should say. I can see it. I just couldn't say it. So going up the straight, Seth Brown's got a really nice run on him here, as well as they come up into the cutting. It's got a little bit wide, so he's going to be compromised all the way up the hill here, Seth Brown. So maybe not this lap, possibly. You cannot make a pass up here. We've seen it. We've seen it done in the first race. You just got to back out. You just got to follow him up the hill. Or as he shows in the nose, through Reed Park, through Frog Hollow, up into Solomon Park, through McPhillamy, over Skyline. We might jump on board with one of the, maybe even Seth Brown next lap. Oh, that was a bit sideways for Simon Cox going through there as well. As they come through the dipper, down into Forest Elbow, and down Conrod Straight. So it doesn't matter if you've got ultimate pace, you need to get it done. There's only a couple of places you can get the move done. You can get it done down here into the chase. You can get it done at Hell Corner, turn 1 and turn 2, Griffin's Bend. The rest of it, yeah, you don't really want to make a bold move, as we see a 5-second post-race penalty for contact with car 222, lap 5. That's car 64. Who is car 64? Sorry,
Simon Cox in the BMA Audi right here on screen, arriving on the
wow.
gearbox over Simon Chancellor. After that fight with Seth Brown goes the way of the 05, and so Chancellor then almost run out of room on the outside, and it was run out of room on the outside of the final turn, and almost receives Cameron McLeod to his diffuser as he tries to gather the car back up on exit at Murray's Corner. We'll carry on, however. So, yeah, the incident where Jacob O'Reilly spun, trying to get up the inside of Simon Cox, has been judged slightly differently to, when I saw the Adam Hughes decision comes that it was NFA, I hadn't looked at it close enough to know if there was a difference. I thought maybe they might end up being the same, but no, they have been judged slightly differently to those. And as a result, you can see Simon Cox had 5 seconds added to his time penalty. Marina Morella here now on board with the Bristol Esports Porsche, trying to find a way past Chancellor, but inside is protected enough. It's not going to happen this time at the cutting. And I had some questions about why Chu Kang didn't serve a drive-through penalty as he was required to. This is why. Here is actually all fine. Actually jumped on the pit limiter too early, and then if the camera swings inside a pit lane, you'll see, unfortunately, that's looking a little faster than 50 k's an hour. I can tell you it was threatening 90 k's an hour well past the cones. Aaron, so that's why he had to park in his box and stop playing.
We have seen, this is probably a championship to forget, to be honest, Chewy Kang. He's been in the wars, he's received a lot of penalties through this, not as many as Brad Newman, but he's just been involved in nearly everything out there. So there's only one way from there for Chewy Kang, and that's up. So hopefully he can redeem himself for this race and have just a clean race to get to the end, stay out of the way of the leaders, and get something out of it for himself as well. I can tell you that we know him in the Vermilion team, and he's a good enduro racer, knows how to save fuel, so these little short 15 and 45-minute races probably don't suit his driving style very well, but good to see him out there. Sorry, Chewy Kang. I didn't want to... Oh, hang on, that's someone coming into the pits right now. That's Shane Chancellor. He's coming. He's got a little bit of repairs to be done on the rear of that car. He's going to be the first to come in for a pit stop. This will get him home. If a safety car comes out now, he's laughing. He's done a really good job, but that's going to be full of fuel. It's going to probably be slower than every car out there, but he's going to have a bit of track position if all goes well.
Yeah, well, the other problem though is you'll have a heavier car as well, and he's got no one to work with. So those are compromises that he will be making for himself in this whole process. So we'll see where he ends up over the course of that one there. But looking here at Eddie Beswick and Simon Nicholson, 5th and 6th on the road as we speak, and it looks like to me Nicholson has decided he is perfectly content with sitting in behind and saving some fuel in the process off of that Audi, and trying to not lose much time to the cars in front, namely of course Zach Ratchford White next up the road, and we've got Dylan Burse and Cody Deeth will eclipse 1-2 for now, leading this field. So trying to keep that all in order at this stage of the race.
It's what we haven't seen much of. We haven't seen much Porsche versus Audi. We've seen everything versus the Ferrari, but this little battle here with Simon Nicholson in the number 8 machine there, in the Porsche versus Eddie Beswick in front of him in the Audi R8. So this could be interesting as they come down here into the chase. see who's got braking performance. I'd imagine that Audi's probably got the braking performance over the Porsche, but this is where this see which car is actually stronger. I'd imagine that Simon Nicholson's car is actually a bit stronger at the moment, or the drivers are finding a little bit more pacer here as he gets a really good run through Murray's corner onto the main straight. Will he put the nose out onto the inside? He's not. He might just stick behind here.
Roll out, save fuel, and try to lose as little time to Christensen, who's been able to check out in clean air quite nicely, I have to say. Looking at lap time deltas on average, threatening about half a second a lap lost. So for Nicholson, his only opportunity, it seems, he's going to try and get ahead of Beswick in the pit stop on fuel. There you go, bring it up here on the screen. Last 3 laps. Look at that there. In fact, Nicholson losing nearly 4 tenths, and then again on lap 9, and then over half a second there on lap 10. So he's saving fuel while he does it, but the gap now threatening 4 seconds as we speak there, and he won't be able to make that back up without a mistake over fuel in the pits or something like that from the number 5 machine. So also need to keep our eyes on the gap between Dylan Burst and Zach Rattray-White. Burst has been dropped by Cody Deeth, it seems.
Cody Deeth is checked out.
Yeah, and the number 17 Ferrari is going to be threatening slipstream in the next couple of laps, I would think. They should have about another 7 or 8 minutes of fuel, though. That might just happen before any pit shenanigans occur here at the front of the field. I'll have to see as we compare now the last couple of laps. Look at that there on lap 9. It's going to be over 3.5 tenths for Zach Rattray-White in favour of him, although lost a little bit of time on lap 8 and also a little bit of time on lap 10. So consistency more the issue, it seems, for Dylan Burst than outright pace. When he gets it right, he's got enough to hang on to that margin, but he's got to be able to deliver it every single lap, and that may not be the case.
Yeah, this, he's a bit of a sitting duck down the straights, but Dylan Burst has got the, he's a good operator. If he does get to the back, he still has to pass him, and we know how hard it is to pass people around here. So if Zach was going to make a pass, there's only, like I mentioned before, there's only 3 or 4 places he can actually do that. And over the mountain, that Audi definitely is superior. So watching them go up the straight now, that gap is just reining in bit by bit. It's under a second now as they go up there. Wow, that is definitely in the toe now. Zach Rattray-White is definitely in the toe. He's made 3 tenths as they go up mountain straight into turn 2. As they come up here into the cutting, and this is where the Audi will take over. Simon Cox into the pits. I saw one of the Vermilion drivers as well into the pits as well. I think that was Seth Brown possibly in the pits as well. So they're going to change a little bit of strategy. They could have gone to another 5 minutes in that car, another couple of laps, but decided to come in now, get it done. They're going to come out in P14, P15 respectively. On board at the moment with Zach Rattray-White still, and he's, geez, they're quick through here. We might, next lap, can we jump on board with Zach Rattray as he's following here? Actually, we're on board now. This car, it's going to be hard to see there, but I can tell you, the understeer is real. And as we saw that, Dylan Burst's car just goes through Forest Elbow so much quicker than the Ferrari, but here it comes. Here comes the Ferrari power. Dancing on the bonnet they are right now. Getting over 260 kilometers an hour as they come through the chase. He's got that gap down to 0.6 of a second, so he's definitely finding pace. Is that really Beswick I've seen?
It's been past Simon Nicholson, yes indeed. It's happened right now on Conrod Straight, just behind these two. Well, just behind the matter of speaking, they're 8 seconds down the road and change at this stage. But they've swapped around as well. As gap of 9 tenths across the line. As here's how it happened. Beswick was a little scruffy through the elbow. Simon finally deciding that now was the time to put the hammer down and be the one to lead these two. And I have to say, it's probably the right call. As much as Nicholson's been able to benefit from saving fuel behind Beswick, Eddie has been a little scruffy in that number 30 Audi in a few spots, and probably losing precious time in the process. So maybe see if he can settle in now, the one in behind, and let Nicholson do the heavy lifting until they come in for their pit stop for fuel. Speaking of that, Cameron McLeod and Marina Morella will be the next two into the pit lane there.
I keep on watching these guys come to the pits. I just want to see if anyone's putting tyres on. No one has done it yet. I don't think it'll be ideal, but someone may actually do it. I'm just seeing the number 73 come into the pits as well, which is Stuart Ellis. He had that drama at the start of that race. He's got a little bit of work being done on the car as well, and he's going to come out in P15 or P16 after that as well. Yeah, this little battle now, it is getting closer and closer at the front here as well. Dylan Burse has just found a little bit of pace over. He finds so much. He finds probably 2/10 over the mountain, and this little turn here, it just gets on the power so much quicker than the Ferrari. And here comes the Ferrari again. So it's going to take a really good lap from Zach to get onto the back of him, and it's going to take maybe a tiny mistake from Dylan Burse as well. But times are pretty much identical. There's probably 3/10 in it, and that's sort of representative of the pace that Zach Ratcho White is showing on screen at the moment. So watch for these guys. They've probably got 1 or 2 laps left in the tank. They can pull the trigger anytime they want right now. We'll just watch as they go past the pit entry, and none of them are going to come in. So we'll get 1, maybe 2 laps out of these guys before they come into the pits. If anyone does more than that, I'll be absolutely surprised as we see Eddie Beswick come down into the pits. Oh, that's pretty rapid through there. He's in P6. We'll see what he comes out as. And that was Zachary Vlasblom as he comes through. Oh, this is great. On board. Smashing it through the curbs there. They should get the whistles going again, don't you think, Dan? The whistles are so much better.
The whistles certainly serve their purpose in at many tracks where the pit entry is a little unseen. I guess here it's a little obvious when the car's coming in, I guess, once they're coming through the tyre bundles. But that's maybe a discussion for another time in that case. Well, speaking of, here at the gap between these two, holding it around the second or so at this first part of the lap. I missed the sector comparison on that last lap when it got thrown up for a brief moment. If we can we bring up the sector comparison? So there you go, on that last lap, Dylan Burse eking out 900ths of a second on Zach Ratcho White to stem the bleeding. And interestingly, there in the first sector, which I believe with the timing software goes practically to where the real-world timing marker is, give or take a bit of distance. Ratcho White only gaining 200ths of a second. He does gain, though, across the top of the mountain where we were sort of saying we'd have thought it was the advantage Dylan Burse. That's the last lap sectors where Burse actually making up some good time, a 10th and a half in the opening sector. It just seems to be here on Commonwealth Straight. This is where the Ferrari really struts its stuff, but at this stage it's not that much between these two, as we'll check in with them later on in the lap. But Cody Deeth at the front of the field, 16 minutes on the clock. That looks like it's a pit entry.
He's coming in.
And indeed he will come in, so expect we'll see Burse, Ratcho White, Christensen will follow through. Yep, in comes 68. No,
well, hang on.
Oh, don't tell me the Ferraris have also got mileage advantage. Although Deeth coming in first, that Deeth has come in. Nicholson will also come in as well, along with Brad Newman. So it doesn't necessarily say, but it may be just a case of Ratcho White driving to a bit of a number in the earlier part of the race and then throwing the hammer down later on.
That's going to be tight on fuel. No matter how you dice it up, it's going to be very, very tight on fuel. There's not many places you can save if you by yourself, so this is going to be a lap in anger for Zach Ratcho White. We'll see. His times have been great, so I don't think he's been saving too much as he's been chasing Dylan Burse, but he'll have to do a very, very good in-lap here. He has to pit here, and we'll see where he comes out. Jamie Christensen, did he stay out as well? He did too.
Yeah.
So yeah, Cody Deeth and Dylan Burse are right behind each other now. They oh no, there's no difference in time between those two as they come out of the pits. Cody Deeth has got himself a 4-second gap still.
Yeah, I was going to say, if we actually bring up the comparison between Cody Deeth and Dylan Burse, you actually see he's gained about a second stationary time in the pit cycle over Dylan Burse. Yep, there it is.
Oh, wow.
And it also translates to a second through the transit from cone to cone. So that does say perhaps in addition to straight line performance, the Ferrari might also have a mileage advantage. I mean, maybe at the same time that might have been Cody Deeth in the early parts of the race also just not going hard straight away to try and allow Dylan to ride in the coattails and therefore having to actually back off a bit in the Ferrari, but this might also explain again why Rattray White and Christensen have made the extra lap work here when they weren't really in a slipstream. If they've been able to just save a bit of fuel earlier on, then now go for it here. So inside 15 minutes left in this race, we expect these cars in on this lap 15 here. Look to see the number 17 indeed stay left and peel on in, and Christensen 3 seconds back to follow. Now critical to see here what the stationary time in the pits is like for these two cars relative to, say, our two Eclipse SimSport drivers who have come in on that last lap.
This is the fight right here for P2 right now. Zach Rattray White in the pits now. Dylan Burse is where we should be looking at the moment. And that's Dylan on as he comes through. So we're going to be watching as he comes through the pits. Oh, wow, he got a pit spot right at the front too, which is crazy. And that's Cody. No, that's Dylan Burse now.
Burse there. So Deeth back to the lead of the race is expected. There you go. About 12 seconds of fuel.
Now it's going to be
Rattray
close.
Dylan.
Oh, nothing in it. Absolutely nothing in it. He's going to have to tuck in behind Dylan Burse at the moment.
He might not.
He might go around the outside. That Ferrari is so quick. Ridiculous. If he can get it done now, I don't think Dylan's going to... Oh, no, he's... Good racing from the two as well as they come up through into Griffin's Bend, up through to the cutting, and this battle is back on just where it left off. The Ferrari might have had a little bit more fuel mileage there, but it's he's still got to try and get past this Audi R8 of Dylan Burse in the Eclipse Esports team. So they've got 12 minutes of racing, probably about 6 laps to go in this race, so this is going to be on at the front here.
Yeah, well, he's now got no margin to work with here, the Dylan Burse. That Ferrari is going to be rapid down Conrod Straight, and I think that might just be it in terms of the fight between these two, wrapping up a little earlier than we hoped for here. We'll see what it looks like off of the elbow as they both launch the cars down the hill into the run onto the Conrod Straight. Maybe Burse pulls half a car length there with a pixel-perfect run, and also just a little bit more tyre warmth, having done his outlap last time around, not on this current occasion. But here we come as we come over the rise. Watch for that Ferrari to get larger from the rear view wing perspective we have here on board with Dylan Burse. Into the chase we come. It's going to be late potentially, but not quite there this time. So Dylan Burse is spared 1 lap at least, but now he's going to have to start worrying about Mountain Straight and then Conrod again. I don't know how many times it's going to take for Rattray White to have a fair chance to stab at his second place on the road. 11.5 minutes on the clock, Aaron. This one could go all the way. It could be over next time round in one of these straights. We're just going to have to wait and find out.
I don't think Dylan Burse is going to give up this position very easy. He's going to have to make him work for it to get past him. Yeah, those two Eclipse teammates, from the Ferrari at the top, the Audi and P2, which has got me completely surprised with how he's driven that car. Oh wow, look at this thing. That Ferrari is so quick up the straight. Yeah, Dylan Burse is going to have his mirrors full. He's just going to have his eyes forward. He only has a little bit to go. He's got 10 minutes of racing to go around here. 5 laps of Mount Panorama. Don't look in your rear view mirror, Dylan, because there is a lot of Million Esports Ferrari behind you. So we'll have to get back onto it. We might stay. Can we jump on board with Zach Rattray White as they go up the mountain again? Maybe on board with his camera. Here we go. This is great. So that's through McPhillamy, over Skyline. He's back out. They chop down the gears into the S's, through the dipper. That's where the Audi outshines him. It takes about 2 or 3 tenths out of him through there, and just through this little spot here, that Audi gets on the power so much quicker than the Ferrari. But as we've said before, he was 6 tenths behind him before. Now he's 5 tenths. So it could all come to a head here at the chase. Straight line.
Here we come into the middle. The road will park Dylan Burse, but Rattray White's there. No! He needs one more tenth, it seems. So 4 tenths is going to have to be the critical margin coming off the Forest elbow, it seems, before they will be able to duke it out. And also to consider the fact that as these two potentially get into fighting and holding each other up, Jamie Christensen just there in the back of shot will be waiting with eyes ready. Although 2.5 tenths, quarter second across the line into turn 1 we go. Mountain Straight might be where it happens actually instead as we head up the hill here on lap 18 of this race. 9 minutes on the board with a couple of seconds to spare. A good measure. As we pick up into Cervigo, into 5th gear. This is where the Ferrari starts to begin, but no, doesn't get there in time. Burst moves over just the tiniest amount to open his entry to turn 2. Griffin's Bembe is now going to have to cover into the cutting as well. Ratcho White threatens for another time up the inside, but can't get there on the brakes. He'll have to stay in line across the top once more.
So he's within 2 tenths here, so keep that little margin. We just saw him going through Forest Elbow with 5 tenths behind him, half a second behind him if he could get up there. If he's 3 tenths behind him as they go through down over Skyle and the S's to Dipper into Forest Elbow, that's when he's going to be able to get him. This looks like the time. He's going to have to push him down the hill. It's a controlled fall from both of them as they come down into the Dipper through the S's. Just losing a little bit there. It's 4 tenths at the moment.
That's probably right on the money. Down the elbow will come, both of them leaving nothing to spare on the exit of Forest Elbow, but at 4 tenths of a second as they start winding up for the run down Conrod Straight. I think this is going to be the lap where Zach White has a stab into the chase. You bet though Dylan Burst there already staying. She goes middle early of sorts, but actually no, still a tenth shy. So okay, revise that margin. It's going to have to be about 3 tenths of a second to make it past. I thought 5 was going to be close, and then 4 was close, but still not quite. But once again,
it's a tough gig to make a pass around here at Bathurst.
He also then just hold steady here. It's going to force Burst into the defensive. 7 minutes and 15 on the clock. They're about 5 seconds behind the leader. So we've got 4 laps left in this race, ladies and gentlemen. Those will be watching along with us here tonight. So this has still got plenty of opportunity left to give us. Here we go. Ferrari already winding up as they come through 4th and 5th gears into the outside. Ratcho White will have to go. Burst moving over to the middle. It'll be alongside into Griffin's Bend, and he can't hang it though. Burst stays the tiniest bit off the inside of the corner there, which means that there's no grip on the berm off the camber. In fact, he actually drops a large amount of time there. Does Zach Ratcho White. This is going to give Dylan Burst a reprieve on this next time down Conrod Straight, I do believe.
I just saw, as you were saying that, Dylan Burst actually collected a little bit of the wall going up the hill, so he's compromised just a little bit. Oh, this is great shots. Yeah, you can hang it around the outside anytime you want there, says Dylan Burst. You're not going to get me up the inside there.
Yeah, the main trick there is that Zach's where he can force it. He has to get Dylan to park it right next to the apex curve. And that will just allow Zach's right side tyres to drop over the crest of the camber that's there on the racing line. And then Dylan, as he did in that case, just sits the tiniest bit off the white line and the apex curb. That forces Zach to stay up on the height, up away from the camber. Can't get the car to hook in through turn 2. And as a result, he's not able to maintain speed. That's what opens up gap up. As a result, it's 1/4 of a second under brakes into the chase this time by, although Burst is hustling a little too hard. He's going to lose a couple of hundredths here on the exit as we head down towards Murray. So it'll be 3 to go this time around. And yeah, gap is going to be around 2 to 3 tenths, depending on how it shakes out. Exactly. So Ratcho White will have a decent chance of a run, say, into turn 2, as there's Cody Death on the screen for you once again.
Just good that he looked at the back of that car and there was nothing there. That's just classic Cody Death racing at the moment. Through this whole championship, he seems to just he just finds another gear compared to the rest of the competitors out there. A bit smarter there from Zach at the moment. Didn't want to go on the outside. Oh, he's got a really good run. He's going to get it done around the outside, possibly. There's places you don't want to be around Bathurst, and on the outside of the cutting is one of them. This is very close now. This is as close as it's been for the last 4 laps as they come up over here. Through Rob Hollow, they're going through now. That's turn 8 and 9. Solomon, you feeling me? That's where I'd be. I'd be sitting on the outside there cheering these guys on. I don't know who I'd be cheering for at the moment. I might be cheering for that Audi R8. It looks spectacular. As they come down here for the next time. So we're just going to keep an eye on the times here. So just to let you know, so Zach Retro White right now is 4 tenths behind as they come down here to the Forest Elbow for probably the third to last time. And now that gets stretched out to 0.7 of a second, and that's when he has to come through. There's 2 places where Dylan Burst is superior, and that's at Forest Elbow and the Dipper, and that's all that's making the difference at the moment. But here we go again, down into 2 tenths. We're going to go down into a tenth behind as they come through into the chase. He's had to defend again. Might be an over and under done. No, not at all. Oh, they put on the grass together as well. The gap behind him, Jamie Christensen's actually gaining on these guys quite significantly. So he's going to be in the draft as well. He's going to have a rear gunner. What's going to go on there, whether he lets go or not.
That tap on the exit at Griffin's Bend, I think, has done a little bit more than we thought in terms of car damage. And Burst now is driving in extremely deep. Some might even say too deep, as they can confirm it is 2 laps to go on this occasion as they start their 21st circuit here as we come. And again, yeah, Rattra is damaged to the Eclipse Audi. He's got nothing for that Ferrari Australian. Rattra might be clear before the braking zone. No, he's not. So Burst will force it up the inside. They scrub. They target spin.
Oh no!
Burst around on the apex. It's Christensen gets through by the skin of his teeth in the second. Rattra White will carry on into 3rd place.
Keep an eye on this. If Dylan Burst can't, it has to come into the pits and goes to the back of
They're
the
both
grid.
meatball.
I mean,
Rattra White and Burst are both mechanically black flagged. If they have to limp it round, they might be able to carry on, but they're both. Oh, Rattra White's not going to barely make the right turns here. As one more replay, thanks to the Burling Motor Group, we think tonight here. Burst gets back up the inside, but Rattra White, he turns in. He turns in, trying to squeeze Burst, as I said he needed to be able to challenge round the outside. Backboard live, and that's Burst going through. Not as damaged as Rattra White. So maybe Burst carries on.
I can't believe what I just seen there.
Oh, Nicholson's going to catch. Oh, around the outside to the tipper. Oh, the commitment from Simon Nicholson just to carry on. But for Zach Rattra White.
Look at the steering wheel.
Yeah, it doesn't turn right. It won't turn right here. Now, not many laps left to finish the lap off, mind you, but nevertheless, he will now limp home a broken car. The question is whether Dylan Burst will come into pit because despite the fact they've got mechanical black flags, it's so late in the race they actually technically can attempt to soldier on.
He's going to have to.
Well, that's the thing. He's damaged, that's for sure.
He's not coming in.
As I thought, Dylan Burst will press on with 1 lap to go here in the ANZ ESeries GT3 National Championship. Damage to hell or high water. He will try and still hold on to his 3rd. Well, more second, going to try and hold on to 3rd place. Simon Nicholson is the driver who will be coming after him here. And Burst's car is really struggling at left-handers like turn 1. One more replay of it here now, thanks to Jamie Christensen. And just, yeah, they get stuck together. They spin out, and then... Oh! It's not Christensen's car that Rattra White makes contact with. It's just hopping over Burst's car. Is side by side for 7th round. And Lewis Greathead as they start their final lap of the race. This is for 9th place to end this one here tonight. As Rattra White has pressed on, it seems. Yep, same thing. He's refusing to come in and fix the car. He'd rather limp it home. And funnily enough, it actually might work out better for him, given how far the field has spread here to finish off the night. As Brown tried to get around the outside, both of them deep through this bend and will carry on as they were as they came up the hill.
Yeah, this is teammates battling it out at the moment. Seth Brown and Lewis Greathead. None of them are going to give an inch. This is the last lap of Bathurst. P9 is better than P10, no matter where you are. I'm really surprised that Retro White stayed out there. That car can't turn, and he's done half a lap so far. We've got Blasblom, Lewis, and his teammates are behind him, so we'll see what happens. As far as I can see, if he might have lost. I just said that he went up to P3 in the championship after the first race. I think he's going to lose that actually to his teammate Jamie Christensen. So, and Dylan Burst is going to keep his spot in the championship unless the car stops and he doesn't get finished. If we're going to go back to the front here, this is another Cody Death special. He's put it on pole. He won the sprint race, and he's also finished that 45-minute race ahead by a whopping 10 seconds. So congratulations to you, Cody D. Jamie Christensen comes through for. He was not expecting P2 in that race, and there it is. A great finish for him. Dylan Burst somehow gets that car around for a P3 position. Well done to Dylan Burst. Well deserved as well. Simon Nicholson for P4. Eddie Beswick going to come through as well. Oh, and I'm just looking on screen now. This is crazy behind here.
It's a Vermilion freight train trying to protect Zach Ratchway White, but everyone else, including we've got Cam McLeod, Simon Cox, and Marie Morello are going to try and get involved. Oh, contact!
Oh, big contact with McLeod
at the line. It's going to allow McLeod sneaks through on Seth Brown as they tag across the line, and it has actually worked. Zach Ratchway White does not lose any more spots than 70. He's able to hold up the train there at the end of it all.
Unbelievable. Hey, what are teammates for? They might find themselves in a bit of trouble there. They can't just hold up the at the grid there, but teamwork makes the dream work. Well done, boys.
Well, that one, might be subject to a little bit of extra review. This is it. They caught him across the top of the mountain and then just did not pass him for the rest of the lap. I was wondering, good idea, lads, but there's Cam McLeod coming at full speed in the background. They couldn't necessarily keep this up all the way down. I think we'll ride this through to the end of the race here. So, Ratchet White, the left hand is not so bad here for the rest of the race. I'm being told talk with the team in RC. It seems as here we go. So full speed ahead from McLeod as well as Simon Cox and Marina Morella there in the distant background as they now try and push Ratro White along as fast as they can. And see here that then Ratro White throws it in too hot. He's going to do a
no.
So he's across
so
the
he's going to have
grass
a slowdown for that.
Bit of a slowdown penalty there. Then McLeod trying to get full speed. He's mostly blocked. He gets to the outside of Seth Brown, which is hard to make it work here. Almost into the back, a great head there. Then around the last turn, looks like Seth Brown has just come across in front of him. And then at the line, it actually was the number 20 machine that nosed ahead of the 0-5 to take that spot away.
I'm happy with what happened there, to be honest.
At the flag.
Hopefully that goes down as a racing incident, but yeah, a bit of a Vermilion freight train there. I'm sure that'll be reviewed a few times. But hey, who have we got in the... Is anyone knocking on the Combox door at all?
They are indeed. In fact, it looks like we've got ourselves our podium finishes from the race. But yeah, for the top three at least, it should be as they stand. Cody Death pulling a 9-second margin. Jamie Christensen ahead of then Dylan Burst limping home for third, with Simon Nicholson able to finish off the season with a fourth place finish, and Eddie Beswick a top 5 to his name to wrap up his season, with Brad Newman and then Zach Ratcho White, Zach Glasswell. There you go, Lewis Greyhead and Simon Cox, part of me actually has been classified in 10th place, which, so in all of that there, McLeod and Brown do get across the line, with McLeod getting ahead of Brown, but in all of that, Simon Cox also picks up 2 for the price of 1 at the final turn. And Aaron, with Marina Morella, Adam Hughes, Shane Chancellor, Stuart Ellison, Chu Kang, your final drivers to finish the race, and all on the lead lap. Jacob O'Reilly retiring just over halfway through that one there tonight, and Nathan Gardner, unfortunately, technical issues meant he didn't start the final race here. Is one more look at that shot over top to see how Simon Cox sneaks on through on those two in front of him there, and yep, there you go.
Thank you very much, boys. You can battle out as much as you want. I'll take 2 positions and a bag full of points. It's a pity we can't bring up the championship standings at the moment, but I can tell you it pretty much finished as it started, to be honest, with Cody Death, Dylan Burst and Jamie Christensen ran at those top 3 of the championship, but there'll be some a ceremony for that, I'd imagine, later on. Let's bring some people in. Who do you want to start with, Dan?
I think let's go with almost maybe want to grab all three. Oh, well, not say all three at the same time, but we might grab the Eclipse boys together.
Yeah, for
to
sure.
wrap this one off. So bring both Cody Deeth and Dylan Burst into the box to chat to them here to finish off the season. Well, Cody, there's only been a couple of times you've been ousted, and tonight was not one of them. And despite the fact you wrapped up a championship at Phillip Island last week, a clean sweep once again here tonight at the Mountain to secure the season and make it all yours, uncontested.
Yeah, cheers for that. Yeah, it's been a good couple months with this championship. It's been quite fun. You know, driving for Eclipse Sports. It's I'm happy to have 1-2 with Dylan in second in the championship as well. It's been good. It's been good.
I mean, yeah, that opening part of the race, it looked like actually even Dylan introduced you into the conversation. This one there looked like Dylan was able to ride with you a little bit better. Was that a case of you sort of pacing yourself at the start, or is that a case of different sort of fall off in pace towards the middle part of the race there for you, Dylan, compared to the Ferraris?
I mean, yeah, I'm not too sure how I was keeping up with the Fez at the start there. The Audi's pretty balls in a straight line, but I mean, I surprised myself keeping up with him, but it was bound to happen at one point. I just started slowly dropping back, and it did happen in the end, so expected. Bit of a shame for it to finish like it did, but still on the podium, so I can't complain too much.
Indeed, yeah. Well, certainly means you also end up 1-2 in the championship, as far as I understand. But because there hasn't been anything too controversial for you two guys here tonight, so it means it's basically, yeah. Let's talk about the season real quick in general, Dylan. Sort of, yeah, as you said, a couple of tracks maybe not suiting the Audi in terms of straight line pace, and definitely not here tonight. But in other places, it's certainly been a capable package in your hands.
Yeah, I mean, Nürburgring at the start of the season, it was probably good. There was also a few more rounds in the middle that it would have been nice, but I was a slight cripple, so it was a shame I couldn't put it to its full potential. So, no, I mean, end of the day, I'm pretty happy with the choice. Fez might have been a bit better over the season, but what do? You win some, you lose some. But yeah, no, quite happy with it. Quite happy with it for the most part.
Oh, good to hear that indeed, boys. Well, Aaron, any questions from you before we let these two sign off?
Look, I've just been impressed with both of you. Cody Deeth, you've really put on a masterclass, and for people watching and people that that have seen you, do your best out there, you really have done that. So, like Dan said, you've had not too many competitors out there. They've all come from your own team, but hope to see you in the future in season 2. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully season 2 goes ahead, and that'll be pretty. Hopefully that's the same excitement as what this championship was. So yeah, it's good fun.
The standard of driving, I mentioned it before, has been fantastic, except for the last 2 rounds. You've stayed out of it, except for at Phillip Island there. We didn't get your voice on it last round. That little touch you had at Phillip Island where you were sent into oblivion. Talk us through it, mate.
Oh well, so I was just down the inside, I think, as far as I remember, and I got hooked a bit, and then I can't stop on the grass, and unfortunately I hit Matthew on the other side, which I was quite upset. I'm sure he was too. But
Complaining about it,
I mean, yeah. Yeah, not many people were complaining about that, but no,
yeah,
look, that was the only the only little hiccup or bump that you had in the road in this championship. So congratulations to you, Cody Deeth. Very well deserved. The Eclipse SimSport team has put themselves on top of this championship too, against a pretty big field, to be honest. Dylan Burst, you've been, I hate to say it, but that rear gunner for Cody for most of this championship, but you've showed glimpses of outright pace. So congratulations to both of you.
Yeah, cheers for that, mate. Cheers for
cheers
that.
for that.
Cheers for that, bros. Yeah, cheers for that. Cheers for that. No, cheers for that.
All right, hey, congratulations on the
Bring
championship. I'm going to throw you guys out of here to go spray some champagne, and
Thank
we
you,
might
guys.
bring.
I don't drink.
No worries, mate. We might bring Jamie Christensen here too. If we
Have a
go.
good one.
Yeah, he's a good lad. He's a good lad. Cheers, mate. Have a good one.
Yeah, that indeed. We will grab the man who ends up P2 on the road here in this final race of the season to join us here. Well, Jamie, it's been a bit of a bloodbath of a race in many respects tonight, but critically for you, able to make your way through nose clean in that feature race. And in the end, yeah, the doors open once again there between after Dylan and Zach, unfortunately coming together there at turn 2.
Yeah, I saw the crash kind of happened when they glued with each other. So I hit the brakes pretty quickly and I just went to the right and I made it through cleanly. But I think I almost got swooped up because one of them came to the right side of the track.
Yeah, it was awfully close with Zach as those two cars sort of bounced back off the wall on the outside. But how was that sort of like for you there in that opening part of the race as well, where you get ahead of the pack in cleaner air, but you're having to chase them down gradually to have a chance there to get close potentially on just straight up merit. And then really after the pit cycle, of course, when they start scrapping more directly, it sort of helps you obviously pick up your pace there. How is that sort of feeling for you there, sort of looking at that one going like how close you needed to be to get that one done?
I mean, from the start of the race, in the first stint, I was fuel saving, so I was just slowly getting past people and fuel saving. I think Eddie let me through when I got side by side with him, which is pretty nice. But I think after the pit stop, I got like maybe a second or two on Zach, and they were side by side, Dylan and Zach, so I got pretty close from that, but I wasn't catching them on pace because I kept making a few mistakes. That crash kind of helped.
I can see maybe a little bit of variance in lap times, but all the same, maybe if there hadn't been a crash, maybe another 2 or 3 laps would have been needed perhaps to catch them and be there, as it were, on merit, so to say.
Yeah, I mean, it depends how much they battled on the last lap, if they would go side by side through the cutting and all that, but yeah, maybe.
Well, speaking of things, that obviously concludes the championship for this year. We also believe you might be in with a solid shot there of second for the championship.
No, P3.
So,
P3.
Yeah, pardon me, yeah. We literally just talked to the top 2 in the championship just before you. Yeah, possibly P3 there, though you were right in behind and with your teammate, with Zach there. And you've literally had the exact opposite fortunes this race. You've come home 7th in race 1, 2nd here in race 2. Zach finishing 2nd in race 1, 7th in race 2. So we'll have to wait and find out from the organisers how that turns around. But was the championship something that you were thinking about there, trying to get a P3 for the season?
Well, I knew the only way I was going to get it if Zach got absolutely murdered, which kind of happened. So yeah, I'll get the pace.
Just to butt in there, Dan. With these guys, I know that they've been practicing. Zach and Jamie have obviously been doing a few laps around here. It won't. Zach's catchphrase will be "How good is it?" I don't think it's very good at the moment, Jamie. But how is the team going? Just for the outside looking in.
It's going pretty good. I can't really say much because I don't really know that much right now because I haven't been on the sim for a week or two.
Oh well, thanks for that line. That's you've shut me down pretty quickly there, but that's okay. Hey, give us a shout out to all the boys and girls and people that have helped you get through this championship.
Oh, I'd like to thank Doing OK Motorsports and Vermilion Motorsports, Burb Designs, Supernova Motorsports, and Hymo Setups for sponsoring Vermilion Motorsports and the series. Been done.
I didn't actually ask the other two to do that, so I apologise to the Eclipse guys. If you need to see their sponsors, just go to every other race that we've had, and you'll be able to see who their sponsors are at the end of the race. Thanks, Jamie. Thanks for joining us in the Combox. Enjoy the champagne, or the virtual champagne, and enjoy the victory with your mates.
All right, thank you for hosting the event.
No worries, Jamie. A man of many words, Jamie Christensen there. That comes through for P2 tonight and probably clinches that P3 in the championship as well. Dan, the series has had pretty much everything. The standards of driving have been pretty good up until a point, obviously. The racing's been good. The camaraderie has been good as well. Some passing and opportunities for everyone as well, and some good camera work from Jay as well in the background.
It's been up, it's had its downs, it's been wet and wild as well along the path at Sebring and Phillip Island as well, just to add a bit of extra spice to the season. But yeah, certainly has been an exciting couple of exciting races, that's for sure, as part of this whole event. Whilst in many respects, Cody Deeth running away with it early on there did sort of temper things right at the very front of the field. Basically every other position on track, it seems, was hotly up for debate, and certainly some moments did blow over there along the way, but for the most part we definitely saw plenty of the good stuff as well.
Well, we'll have to stop it there and end the series there. It's been fantastic. Thanks for everyone that's been involved in racing. I'll have to thank our sponsors quickly. I'll just go through them. Hymo Setups. They got pretty much every round sorted except for that little snip of Ferrari at the end there, but they've been excellent with the setups this season. Burnley Motor Group, give them a burl on the Gold Coast if you're after a used car. Trophy Hub, it's in the name. First Take Photography, and if you're in WA, hit him up for photography. Motorsport Australia, thank you very, very much. Race Labs have been on board as well. Thank you to you guys at SimSpeed TV, and of course everyone watching at home. It's been a massive undertaking. I can tell you in the background a lot of things happen. There's been some chaos as well through the rounds, but all in all, Dan, it's been a really good season, and look forward to seeing everyone back next year, or next season I should say, whenever that's going to be. You have been watching Season 1 of the 2024 ANZ GT3 National Championship. Thank you all for watching. From Dan, Jay, and myself, have a great night, and I hope to see you in the future for more racing from not only SimSpeed but also the ANZ team. Dan, it's been great. Toodles from me. Thanks, Dan, and thanks, Jay.
Weekend in, weekend out, Motorsport Australia officials are making waves. From waving flags, waving cars through pit lane, or responding to a wave for help. Wave hello to new lifelong friends. Who knows, you might just make waves around the world. Ride the first wave. Search Motorsport Australia officials today.